Hey everyone, thank you again for joining us on another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. We're at our favorite Irish pub here in Austin, Texas, B.D. Riley's. I'm here with Del Cross and Julian, and before we kick off, I just want to welcome our newest partner, Up the Reds, and you can get their what do you call this?
First of all, this T-shirt, of course.
T-shirt. I thought you guys had another name for it.
It's a T-shirt.
Okay.
But of course, this depicts a special moment in our history when Robbie Fowler against Everton at Anfield decided to help the groundsman out and clean the lines and did a spectacular job. But Up the Reds make a lot of great merchandise, a lot of great T-shirts, fantastic website. Go to the website in the link and click on that, and you'll be able to get discounts as well. So, cheers to them.
Cheers to them.
Cheers. Up the Reds. That's it. We're going home.
And that's the podcast. We're done. That's the only good thing we have to say today.
Well, it's funny. It's weird because we were saying I hadn't been in the pub in a while doing a podcast and getting all the gear together and like, what are we going to talk about? Last time I was here, we were so excited. We were still in a couple things, and now we're here like, all right, what the fuck are we going to talk about? We talk about the kits.
We were young and hopeful, and we had twinkles in our eyes, and now we're all old and fucking withered and broken.
Yes.
Spurs. We have a big old game against Tottenham, which would have been bigger a few weeks ago, but it's still, it's still big. There's only 2 games of Klopp at Anfield to play. This is the penultimate one, and it's a big game. We want to go out there, we want to put in a good performance. Of course we do. We want to aim with as many points as possible. We're recording this on Wednesday, so it's hard to say what the team's going to be, etc. I think the big talking point on that is if Salah's going to start after the drama of the last game.
Do you guys buy into this? This is a revenge game from what happened the first time. Obviously the red cards playing, 2 men down and then losing at the very end on a Matip own goal. Is there any of that, or people or the players just really don't care about what happened in the past? They just want to win this game today or this weekend. I'm sorry.
The latter. I think that won't come into it now. I think that's been forgotten, as it should be as well. I don't think that should be something that the players or our coaching staff should be thinking about. All we should be thinking about now is going out there, putting in a really good performance, getting 3 points, and moving on to the Aston Villa game after that. I'd be surprised if they were still having thoughts about it. But Del Cross, what do you think?
No, I agree. I think that's more for the fans. I think we'll be thinking a lot more about down those sort of lines. I don't think the players, Klopp, anybody will be like that. They'll be just getting on with it. It'll be another game against Tottenham Hotspurs at home in front of our fans that will want to win. Put on a good performance. The last few haven't been great, so it'll be more about getting back to winning ways. Putting on a good show for the fans, and as you said, Julian, it's the second to last home game for Mr. Klopp. So you wanna go out there and perform for him. I'd say.
Well, maybe it's second to last home game for some other players. I know we had a discussion before the show. We were like debating on who can we see not being part of the new manager setup. We have players that are going into the last year of their contract. Obviously, we don't think that, or maybe there's a couple of players. Matip, will he sign another deal? Will Adrian continue to get paid to sit on the bench and just have fun? There are some people that will leave. But there are some decisions to be made with the players that are going into the next season.
It's such a big summer. It feels like we say this every summer, but this one is ginormous. This is an epic summer. Of course, the entire, from what we can see, the entire coaching staff is leaving. And player-wise, you have Virgil, Salah, Trent are going to need new contracts potentially, or they're going to go into their last year of their contract, or they're going to be sold this summer. So I see 4, and we could do another pod on this and discuss this more in depth, but there's 4 big players that I think it's probably the question marks over, which are Mo Salah, of course, Virgil, and then to a lesser extent, I'd say Trent, and then even Alisson, who's still under contract for a couple more years. But there's been some talk about Alisson as well. But they're huge. I mean, you wouldn't want to let two of them go, like, let alone any more. But right now it's impossible to say which way it's going to go. I know that David Ornstein of The Athletic came out and said that it's likely Salah's going to stay, but that felt a little bit too. It felt like a little bit too good timing to kind of calm the Salah-Klopp thing last weekend. So I'm not reading too much into that at the moment. But.
You mentioned those four, but you also, I think, if you just feel the vibe of the team and what you read and some different articles, I think you need to put Nunez in there and Diaz. They're both. Diaz is getting overtures from their clubs, but they're in that
different bracket to me,
right? But they're still this still may be their second to last home game.
Yeah, I mean it could be. I mean they haven't really. I mean Diaz has probably been our best player over the past few weeks. He really has, but there are question marks about Diaz. I mean, you're going into a new season, new manager, new coaching staff. I mean, every player's up for fucking debate, really, at the moment. It's impossible to say what he and what Michael Edwards and etc. want to do with this. How we're going to play, what we're going to do going forward. How much money do we need to bring in is huge as well. How much is going to be given to the new manager. But for now, all I'm worried about is the Spurs game this weekend, getting 3 points, feeling really good, and giving Klopp a really good send-off. That's where I'm at the moment.
Yeah, same. I think I don't know. To me, there's lads that I would say are very important to get re-signed and get locked in. Trent is absolutely one of those. You want to lock him down on a long term. Ideally, you'd like to keep the likes of Alisson as well. I think the biggest question marks surround Salah and Van Dijk. I think, in particular, Salah, it will all boil down to whether the Saudis want to spend some money or not. If they're still in the game of, we're going to splash the cash and we're going to just buy whoever we want, I could see him very well. I could see Salah very well ending up there this summer. Virgil is an interesting one because I think the club could be more tempted with him to go, if you don't want to re-sign, we'll just let this peter out. I think he's definitely not going to Saudi. And then you start looking around. There's not a whole heck of a lot of money floating around anymore.
And that's the bigger thing.
So I think
that's the bigger
the club kind of have that in their back pocket a little bit with Virgil, and they may just go, you know what, we'll just keep you and we'll let you run the contract down, and if that's the way it goes, so be it. But anyway, Spurs, I mean it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be an exciting game. They're pretty open. We've been pretty open lately, in terms of not defending very well. I mean, who knows? This type of team with Liverpool, they've made me look like an idiot a few times on this, because you kind of go in confident thinking, I think we'll get a result here, and they shit the bed, and then you kind of go in a little bit cagey, and they come out and pull out a really good performance. So who knows what sort of Liverpool performance we'll get on Sunday, but hopefully we'll get the 3 points and kind of move on from there.
Spurs isn't a team that will just bunker in and wait for a counterattack. They're not going to play 11 men beyond the ball. So I think it'll be a good flowing game. There's still Champions League, in Europe places to really try to position for. So I think both teams will go for it. Put on the show, and I suspect that that Salah will start, and just I think that's just the manner that Klopp and the Salah really in the past when they've had little issues, they've always just really gone past it real quickly and moved on. You know what I mean?
It's a big game for us, right? Because we love them. Because it's a big game for us because we want to, club all that kind of stuff. But it's even bigger for Tottenham, actually, this game. It's massive for Tottenham because there's that 4th Champions League spot, and it seems to be they're in a battle with Aston Villa, and then Aston Villa, Spurs, Manx, Newcastle, which I can't see. I think it's between Villa. But it's huge for Spurs. It's a massive game. So, and you don't know what kind of Tottenham side are going to show up. They're a little bit all over the place. They started the season really well, then they fell off the rails for a bit, then had a bunch of injuries.
They're
concede.
Tottenham.
They concede.
Yeah, but they were going to win the league when they beat us.
Yeah.
When we only had 9 men, they're about to right.
They were very excited. They were very excited. Good for them. I mean, normally you get that at the beginning of the season. You get one of these little sides doing really well, And I classify Tottenham. I mean, Tottenham are the weirdest big side I think there's ever been because they barely won anything, especially in the last 50 years or 30 years. Yeah, they're seen as one of the biggest teams in England.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly because they've had so many fantastic players, Tottenham, like amazing players. Yet time and time again, they fail.
The narrative has changed a little bit now, though. It's like 3 weeks ago, it was like, oh Jesus, Villa and Spurs are going to have a big say where the title goes. Now Liverpool are going to have a big say on who finishes 4th.
I know.
So it's kind of all changed because you'd think I would say that if we were to win on Sunday, I think that would probably put the kibosh on Spurs finishing 4th. So they should be really up for this game.
This game, if it follows the trend of previous seasons, this game at Anfield against Spurs is going to be the last home game with this season's home kit because the new home kit gets released. Apparently, we're going to put this out on Wednesday night, so by the time you'll see the new kit's released, but it will be the last time. Nice kit. Just moving on to that, I think this is probably Nike's best kit, and we're really desperate for material because it's been such a bad month that we're talking about this new pinstripe kit with a dodgy collar. But anyway, that's something that spend ludicrous amounts of money on.
What's up with the white and the yellow down the side on that new kit?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What there'll be a little blurb on the website about it, and it'll be to do with
1892.
There was these particular street colours that went down Anfield Road, and the influence of this kit, along with the it's not a great one from what I can see.
No, and it's really odd.
But if you win the league in it, then it's a great kit.
But
that's what makes a great kit.
It looks shite, right? But what's really odd is that remember a few years ago we'd Seamus was with us, and we toured him around Austin, and we'd a couple of ladies from Liverpool FC with him, and they were telling us about like how the club have to sign off on all these fucking kits.
Shout out to Sophie, wherever you are.
That's her name, remember. I just, fuck me, how did anybody sign off on this fucking thing? It looks atrocious.
You're being very kind. Maybe it will look better, like the classic, it looks better in person, but it doesn't look great, does it? But I tell you what, like I say, if we win the league, the Champions League, the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Rumbelows Cup, the Coca-Cola Cup,
actually, from the business standpoint, I can't wait to see what the deal was to get Adidas back. Because Nike, for all the shite kits that they've made us a lot of money.
Have they?
Yes, they have.
Are we sure?
Yes, they've made us a lot of money.
I don't concern myself with that stuff.
No, I know you don't, but
we should lean into that because
it's interesting to me.
About Adidas taking over, so Adidas are taking over 25, 26 season.
But I think for most people, they're welcome. They are happy that Adidas has come back.
Liverpool is Adidas.
It was a supplier for so long, and I think a lot of the memorable moments in the history of Liverpool were in Adidas kits, and I'm excited for the Adidas too.
Just some of the best ones though as well. when I was a kid, at least, in the 90s. Some of those kids in the 90s were.
Oh, they put out some fantastic hits. I love the big white stripes. You know,
The three
collar.
stripes down here.
Yeah, beautiful. That was a great kit.
I have the green and white one with the three stripes this way.
Oh,
Green
yeah,
sleeves, the black Carlsberg. I got Barnes to sign it when he was here, actually. Yeah. That's worth a few quid now.
Well, they should get Carlsberg back too and get it on the front desk.
Yeah. I don't think Carlsberg.
I mean,
have
I'm
the money
older
to-
than you, Delcross, and mine was the Umbro, the Crown Paints, the classic.
That was a good one.
That was a beautiful kit. But you know, we've had, of course, we had Warrior. You know,
Oh, Warrior, yeah.
we had Warrior. We had the
Reebok.
New Balance.
Yeah, Reebok.
Reebok had a couple of nice ones
Well,
as
we
well.
won the Champions League in Reebok, didn't we? So that always gets like a special
But
mention
even
there.
before that, there was a nice one, the cream one, wasn't it? With a round collar,
yes.
black, cream, red. I
Yeah.
remember I liked that one as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
Hey, I
like Adidas.
Hey,
I'm happy. Or Adidas.
So tomorrow we'll see the new kit.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys something. With the new manager coming in, right? We have a lot of people out on loan. They get to come back, get a fresh start, get a new perspective in front of a new gaffer. Is there anybody out there that was out on loan that you're really hope that they seize a chance to stay with the first team?
The obvious choice. The lights just went down. That's kind of weird. This is maybe a dramatic moment. So the one who's been out on loan that deserves to come back. I think Carvalho is the obvious one because he's done extremely well for Hull. He's done fantastic for them. He's going to get a chance, and I think he deserves a chance under a new manager that he looks like likes to play with that kind of player. At least that's what he's done with Feyenoord. So I think Carvalho would fit right into that system. But yeah, out of the ones on loan, Carvalho, Tyler Morton's done really well as well. I think he would be another one to look at. And then you get to the other ones like Sepp Vandenberg. You know, apparently he's done all right. But for me, it's Morton and Carvalho. I'm trying to think of anyone else like major that's on loan that deserves a chance, but those would be the two I would think would be given a chance in pre-season.
This preseason is going to be weird too, right? Because there's Copa America, there's the Euros, so there's not going to be a lot of time to really have your full squad in training to really. Maybe that is a time for those guys that have been on loan. They're not on their international teams. They can really develop a relationship with the new gaffer, and that'll be a time to be able to show your stuff before the senior players get there.
I haven't mourned Klopp yet. I have an absolute. This
is too early.
I just can't even bring myself to fucking.
Are we waiting until next week for our live facey to do our best Klopp thing, or
we'll leave.
Okay.
We'll do it next week. We'll put the Klopp thing.
Yeah.
We'll wait.
Was texting. This is a funny story. I was texting back and forth with Glenn during the week, and we were consoling ourselves. And I think I won't steal it from Glenn. Glenn put it the best. It's like your mum getting a new fucking fella. It's just, and you were a kid and your dad was dead sound, and you just don't want. You can look at this new guy and you're like, fuck off. I don't want to hear about you. So I'm at that point. I don't know. I suppose. Look, if
it's
you're
like going from James Bond to Blowfield.
I don't know what it is, but I'd agree with Julian. I suppose the only fella that I can think of now off the top of my head that probably would come back into the mix is probably Carvalho, and even at that, anytime I seen him, I wasn't overly blown away with him. I know he had that moment against Newcastle where he scored an own goal, but apart from that, I don't think he's done a whole heck of a lot for us. So we'll see. Still a lot of stuff to happen between now and then, and I think going back to what we were saying earlier, I think the biggest thing for the manager, the new fella, is going to be tying down these lads and seeing what he's got to work with.
I agree.
But Spurs, anyway, go back to Spurs. How do you think this game will pan out?
What's your score?
Normally the Liverpool Spurs games are always interesting. There's always drama. It's never boring.
Yeah.
I'd expect that to follow suit and be exactly the same. I think the atmosphere will be rocking. I think because of the time when the kickoff is, it's perfect as well. I think we'll put in a really. There's a good performance that is due, like a really good performance.
Yeah.
And I feel like against Tottenham at home, the way Tottenham play, I think it's perfect for us. There's a lot of players that maybe are playing for their future that are going to start. You know, there's a new manager coming in. I think we'll see a few changes. I do agree. I think Salah will start.
I was just going to.
I think it would be crazy if he didn't, because that would just cause, and we don't need that kind of stuff for this stage. Of, coming towards the end of the season, the end of etc. I think Salah will start.
See, I don't.
That's the big. You don't think Salah will start?
I don't.
Really? Do you really? So that's surprising, because if Salah doesn't start, the media, the noise is going to be ridiculous.
I don't think he cares. I don't think he's going to care.
I think they do care massively.
I don't know. I just think. No, I can't say. I could be totally wrong here. And I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. No matter what way to do it, it's going to be talked about. It's going to be talked about. Oh, well, he spat the dummy out and he started him. Klopp looks weak. Oh, he didn't start him. There's something, something more in there, and there'll be all sorts of conspiracies and all. So I think it's a sort of a lose-lose situation. But I honestly, I think, I don't think he'll start. I don't think he deserves to start. He's been shite.
That's it. Well, that's a different point altogether, right?
I think
that's the only reason you're picking him, right? He's not going to pick him to fucking go, oh, I'm sorry for having a bit of an argument with you last week. On you go. He's going to start. He's going to base his decision.
I get it. He hasn't played well since he's come back. And this is the first.
Well, the problem is no one else has played well either in front of him.
But this is the first big injury that Salah has had. This is the longest he's been out for us, and he wasn't match fit. Obviously, wasn't ready. This is something new to him as well, and he hasn't played. And maybe he didn't deserve to start against West Ham. I wasn't overly shocked he didn't start as well, but I would be.
Why don't you just shut him down then?
Spurs.
Why don't you just shut him down the rest of the game? There's only 3 games left, right?
What do you mean, shut him down?
Just let him heal.
It's not. I mean, with 3 games, he will want to play. I think he'll play. I think Salah will want to play this game, and to avoid any more noise, any more drama, the journos all over it. I think Salah will start. And I think he should start at home against Spurs.
It's his second to last game with the team, so.
At home.
At home,
yeah. And it's the last time at home.
That's right.
In this very nice kit.
That's right.
I'm sure he'll want to, go out and start.
You could be right. The fact that there's so few games left. But I don't know. I just think he's been. I think he's been fucking diabolical the last few weeks.
I'd like to see Jordan. I'd like to see Dan start. So.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, he won't. He might be on the bench, but I don't think he'll. I don't think there's any real benefit in. He'll go strong. He'll go with what's available, whether that's Gakpo up front or Nunes. It's going to be one of those two. I think. Up front. If we're to go through the team, then I think Alisson, Trent. I'd like to see Gomez and Virgil. I'd like to see Gomez play and start this game, because it has been very telling.
In what position?
Centre back, because I think Gomez.
I don't understand how that's not.
Gomez was playing magnificent. He was playing really well with the injuries to Robertson, the injuries to Trent, etc. Blah blah blah. And we were doing really well. And then one of the little things, and there's been a few of them that have happened since we've fallen off a cliff, is Gomez hasn't started much. Also, this past month, 2 months. He hasn't started, and I think it's affected us in defence because I think Virgil and Gomez have been our best defenders this season, and we left out Gomez at the most important time. We really did.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I saw something this week about the goals conceded when Gomez has started for us.
Yeah.
And there was very few, and then as soon as. And we kind of knew this was a problem once Robbo got healthy again, once Trent got healthy again. Gomez was going to be the man out. And it sucks because he's such a good player and he added so much stability to our defense when he played. But that's what happens, man, when you're that guy that doesn't really have a spot.
I think that's that, and it's either 6 or 8, but I think it's out of the last 35 Premier League games, when Gomez starts, we've only conceded, I think it's 6 or 8 goals, one of the two. Regardless, one of those like magnificent records.
Well, he was the main man. The year we won the fucking league, he was the main man alongside Virgil. There's no coincidence in that either.
No.
I don't understand the flack that he gets by some of our fans. I get it that he has the occasional fucking brain fart.
They all do.
Stupid.
All
But
of them do.
by and large, he's a very, very good defender. And does and always, does it, whether you put him in left back, whether you put him in right back, centre half, he always does the job. Even a few games, he seen him float inside in that hybrid thing. You're kind of going, oh really? And then he does the job. He's a good player. Yeah, I agree.
When
with
he's
that.
fit, when Gomez is fit, and he has been the majority of this season, I still think he's the best centre back in England. I don't think it's a better English centre back, I should say. English centre back. I think Gomez is still the best one. I think he'll go to the Euros as well. I think he deserves to. The fact that he can play different positions helps him as well. But yeah, I think Gomez. I hope he starts because
he deserves it.
He's been brilliant. But
but like you said, it's not a coincidence that these last 3 weeks he's hardly had a sniff, and we've been shite, man.
And come here. So your back five would be Alisson, Trent, Virgil, Gomez, Robbo.
Yeah.
Okay, then into midfield. This one's tough now too.
That's really tough.
There's a few lads in there too that aren't fucking.
I think he'll give Szoboszlai a start.
Lighting the world on fire.
I think he'll go Szoboszlai, McAllister, Endo. If they're all fit,
yeah,
of course.
I think so. Yeah,
I
think that's probably the three I go with as well. To be honest with you, Curtis has been well off it since he's come back. He's probably maybe not 100%.
Well, he's played just like Salah has since coming back. Same. It's unfortunate because when Salah got hurt, before he left for AFCON, before Jones got hurt, they were top of their game.
Flying, they were flying.
And it's so unfortunate. And
all right, and then up front, then
Salah, as we've already discussed. I think he will go Salah. Then it's like picking out. It's completely right. I'm going to say it's going to be Salah, Nunes, Diaz.
And I'm going to say it's going to be Diaz, Gakpo, Nunes.
Okay. Stephen Wilson. It's up to you.
We're going to win 4-2. That's what I think.
Whoa. Who's going to play out front?
I'm going to have to agree with you on this one that Salah will start. Nunes and Diaz. I just think that he'll run out the season playing those three with Nunes on a short leash. And Gakpo will come in, but I'd like to see some of the young lads. If we clinch, we say, hey, we're safe, Champions League.
It's done.
I think we just need 1 point.
No, it's safe.
If we're safe,
Like a point.
I think we need 1 point.
No, we're done. We're safe.
Done. Okay. Yeah.
If we're safe,
We've
then
guaranteed Champions League football.
I would like to see some of the younger lads play. I told you guys this. I still don't know why some of the younger lads that helped us win the League Cup have not played more. I know Bobby Clark is injured again, but you got to put your trust in these kids, man. You trusted them.
I don't think it's a trust thing. I think the Premier League. Look at.
You'd rather play injured players than somebody that you don't. That's because you don't trust those.
Liverpool have played no injured players.
Yeah, Salah's been injured. Jones is injured.
He hasn't been injured. He's fit. He just hasn't come back to fucking peak level performance. But I think there's something to be said about throwing young lads in fucking against seasoned fucking men.
You can't.
It's a huge step up to do it week in,
They
week
played
out.
against Chelsea in the final.
Club would have got absolutely. You know what? In fact, we'll talk about the Atlanta game at home when he rested some players.
And then they proved themselves.
When we lost to Atlanta at home, we got hammered. Remember when he rested a bunch of players? And everyone was surprised. I think it's a situation where
that's because our defense is walking around and didn't respect their
the
team.
Youngsters when you had Szoboszlai back, Jones back, Salah back, Trent back, he would have got destroyed. And I think you have to be careful, and it is 100% the right thing that you give the youngsters a run, but then you pull them out the side. You can't because you've seen it when Bajetic came in last season,
he's in
right?
last season.
Had a bunch of games fucking out. You know, you saw Bradley come in, and it was obviously more of an impact.
And we've been a worse team since Bradley's got hurt. Too.
And I saw today that
I know he's from the different part.
I saw today that Clark as well. You know, youngster did well in a couple of games. He's out for the season, which isn't that much obviously left, but still. You have to be really careful when you bring these youngsters in for how many games they play.
But you can't be just all fucking lobbing them in there week in, week out. So,
I think we'll win 4-1. I think we'll put in a really good performance.
4-2? Jesus. I'm going to go... I think it's going to be 2-all. Salah will get 2.
Hope so.
Is that like that game? Like, was it the game a few years ago? I remember when Salah scored in like the last minute and that amazing goal.
And then Kane scored right. No, was it?
I think he'll get 2.
A Kane penalty or something like that?
Yeah.
He took a dive and
that was a horrible moment. It was such a brilliant winner.
Yeah, they should have just stopped the game after that. Yeah.
I mean, there should be certain moments when a player does something magnificent.
You just stop the game.
Well, the ref's just like, yeah, that's it. You can't do anything else good in this game. Just end it. You know, there's been 2 minutes gone, but you've just got one of the greatest goals we've ever seen. Just go. Just end it up. But anyway, 2-2, huh?
2-2. No, I think Salah will get a goal. I think he'll get the equaliser. I think we'll be losing 2-1.
When he comes off the bench.
Salah will come on and it'll be 2-all.
Yeah.
2 off the bench, huh?
No. 1 off the bench. It'll be 2-all. Okay. We'll be 2-1 down. He'll come on in about the 64th minute and he'll get the equaliser in the 72nd.
Can you imagine, so if this happens... Can you imagine the cameras when he's standing on the side of the pitch, he's getting ready to come on? They'll be like full on Salah and Klopp to check the handshake and all that kind of
big hug.
He ain't gonna do it. He's not. He's gonna start. The hug. He's not. He's gonna start. He would be.
Does that happen?
There's no way he's not gonna start this game.
Probably. I don't know.
Anyway. Cool.
All right. That's enough. But anyway, hey, everyone, thank you for joining us. You know, put on your notifications, subscribe, like. And next week we have a little live episode, or what do we have?
A little teaser.
Hey,
You're doing an experiment.
Little teaser. Yeah, we're going to do an experiment. I think we're going to do like a Facebook Live thing as well. See, we're diving into new territories.
Live. From BD Riley's.
BD Riley's, yes.
Be interesting.
Yes.
All right, till next time. Tip your bartenders. Cheers.
Up the Reds.